Nerdrotic.com.
All right, let's do this super chat square up. Greetings, everyone. Good Friday morning to you all. This will be a good pregame for Friday Night Tights, just for about an hour or so. You and me and some questions and some possible answers. Can't answer everything. I'll try. I will try, though. So, yeah, no lower decks because I did lower decks yesterday, probably for the last time. It's really not worth it. The show is bad, but it's not offensively bad. And those are the worst things to review. The things that are just mediocre. Just a lot of meh. A lot of meh. So, yeah, we're going to have Robert Meyer Burnett on tonight. Az is coming back. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot going on. And this should be the last Friday Night Tights with a green screen. I'm making some progress in this office, making a lot of progress. Yeah. So let's do this. Save state for £5. Sterling Van Wiegenen, 6 to life, becomes fascinated by prison shower crew. Hoping to drop the soap with them, he starts to explore his sexuality in this coming-of-age story of a 72-year-old man who diddled too many kids, and he co-founded the Sundance Film Festival. Hopefully, he spends the rest of his life there. Modalicious for $5. Almost turned it off there. I didn't want to do that. Video is up. I called it B plus T3 is a complete bait and switch with a CGI show to a Lumineers cover. Get ready to soft rock your compression socks off. Oh, well, I will. What are compression socks? Are those for old people? Should I be wearing them? Sounds cool. Salad Cream Boy for £5. Friday Night Tights has inspired me to start a channel. Thanks, Gravemaster, for retweeting. And she says you're welcome. And she's great, Lady Gravemaster. We love her. And thanks, Salad Cream Boy. I'm glad you're starting a channel. Everybody should. It's fun. It's fun. Just do it for fun. Culture Casino, thank you for the phallic unicorn for $1.49. Jonathan Aldridge for £10. Hey, Gary, I just got back from seeing Tenet in the UK. I thought the film was good. It could have run smoother, but I would recommend Nolan on a Star Trek production team for interesting concepts. I would too. I think if he could do Batman, he could do Star Trek, and it would be better than Kurtzman. That would be interesting. He'd probably do something more like The Expanse, though. Garrett Barley for $4.99. Hey, Razorfist, did you hear why Richie did Bobby Lupo?
Anybody see Richie? Fuck you. Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?
Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo? That's right. That's right. Edward Pereno for $4.99. This is for Quarter Black and Razorfist, who are not here, sorry. I love Mencius Moldbag, creator of the term red pilled. Are you guys going to cover his work? Is he the creator of the term red pilled? He took it from The Matrix. Not aware of him. I'll ask Quarter Black and Razor next time I see them. Yeah. Red pilled. A lot of people are getting red pilled these days. Fandom Guard for $4.99. Hey, Gary, went to a vintage comic book store. They had a lot of 90s through modern day toys, mint in box, and a lot of G.I. Joes down here in Florida. Well, if the Comic Con happens, I'll probably go to Florida. Don't tell Jeremy. He'll go buy all the G.I. Joes there. No good for 2 Canadian pesos. There's no such thing as a conspiracy theory. Or there's no such thing as a conspiracy. Until you're right. Well, now, there's plans and there's news and there's facts. A lot of conspiracy theories turned out to be news, and a lot of them turn out to be complete shite. Fandom Guard for $4.99. Heyo, you're trapped on a tropical island. You can bring 2 things with you that cannot help you get off the island, and 2 people. Who would it be? I can bring 2 things with me that can't help me get off the island, and 2 people. Only 2? I'd have to choose between my kids. I mean, because I'm not leaving my wife behind. Well, my oldest son, he's on his own anyway, so I would bring my wife and my youngest son. And I would bring... I would bring Lord of the Rings to read, and that would be the only thing I could entertain myself with. And since we're getting completely hypothetical here, I bring a replicator so I can eat. Mike L for $5. Oh my God, everything that goes against the narrative is a fudging far-right conspiracy. It's so damned annoying. That's right. That's right. Well, you notice they don't say right anymore. They say far right. When idiots are calling me a white supremacist, and they don't even know what my family looks like. They don't know the makeup of my family. Yeah. You know what? It honestly helps at this point. It honestly helps. They are so deranged, so off the mark on everything they do. They just dig a bigger and bigger hole for themselves. So honestly, I'm grateful. If it wasn't for the mainstream media being so shitty, if it wasn't for the access media being so shitty, I wouldn't have a gig right now, to be honest with you. So thanks, you dumb shits. And they're so caught up, and they don't understand because they're so selfish. They're so caught up in themselves. They'll never even consider the fact that they might be wrong. Because in a lot of cases, I found this very surprising. A lot of people think they're in the middle when they're not, when they're really not. Tomorrow will be the 4th time I've been to the movies since it opened last Thursday. Gary, how long until I'm off my family? How long until I off my family, according to you? LOL. Butterbiscuit 92. That's a really strange question. I don't want you to off your family for $5. Unless getting the beer bug. I don't understand that. It must have been in reference to something I said. That's why I hate, man, I wish we could catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all. I'll try to get back to that one and mullet, but how long? I hope you take forever. Enjoy going to the movies. I'm going to be going to the drive-in when Mrs. Nerdrotic gets back into town, and we're going to go see New Mutants in the drive-in. Very happy about that. I don't care if the movie sucks or not. Ryan Cannell's beard for £2. Quick, someone shave me off. He will. He has to. He has to. I don't. The Price is Right review for $2. Kapla, awesome peeps. You never cease to entertain me. Thanks. Price is Right review, who's been around for a long time. So I appreciate you and your longtime support. Drake is 6 for $5. Hail, Gary and everybody. Finally got a haircut today. First haircut in 5 months. Feel like a toxic white male again. Awesome. And then he says, Trump 2020. There you go. Go get him. I think he's going to win, man. I think he's going to win. Black Tiger 001 for 2 Canadian pesos. Yesterday was my 34th birthday. That's it, really. Well, Black Tiger 001, happy belated birthday. 30s are the best time of your life. Enjoy it. 34 was great. Blank for $9.99. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chinese communists picked up with where the Soviets left off in ledge culture subversion in the West. I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think there's any doubt. Joey Bryant for $50. Can I get everyone's opinion about all the remake game coming out? All the remake games coming out. All of the companies are doing is bringing it over to the system. No fixed bugs, no features added. Hell, they're not even upgrading the cosmetics. The only real remake is Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, it's just easy money, Joey. It's easy money. That's why we get so much. That's why creativity is dying, because it's become too corporate and it's separated from the individual who used to be the creative mind, or, the person who would control whatever IP is out there. Now it's a committee. It's a committee. Gunnar Rene Oy for 50 Norwegian krona. Russia will boost extremism and division on both sides of an issue. The Senate documented that they did it last time too. I'm not sure how much I buy into Russian influence. I'm really not, because Gunnar, they say I'm influenced by the Russians, and I'm not. I'm really not. I think there are a lot of governments influencing ours. We have caught spies from supposed allies in this country. So I don't doubt they're trying. I just don't know how much actual influence they have. I know right now China has more influence because they're an economic trading partner. Planner aspect, but yeah, I'm sure they have, I'm sure they're trying, but I'm really not sure how much actual influence they have. Planner aspect, $5. If you can't allow a parent to see what you're teaching their child, you're just evil. Saying that as a teacher, that's right. And my son came in and asked me about unconscious bias today. Yes, he did, because that was brought up in his biology class. Culture Casino for $2. Education without observation is indoctrination. I'm going to say that again. Education without observation is indoctrination. Goddamn right. Boag for 20 Mexican dollars, saying Black Lives Matter kills the beer bug. It does? It does? There you go. Well, it's weird how it went from that to the organization to Antifa. I don't know why Antifa is just hijacked everything. Oh, I do know why. They've been waiting, and it's fucking planned. Oh, and we got some terrible news this evening. The piece of shit who executed that guy on the street in Portland is no longer with us. He has left this mortal coil forever, and I will not shed a tear. Cops went to arrest him. He went down. Manowar 665 for $10. Don't you guys have Obama phones? No, I do not. Australian Disability Limited, $2 Australian. Please do a video giving tips to upcoming YouTubers. I might do one on Nerdrotic Live. I don't know. I always feel like I'm kind of being, stuck up or hubris, but maybe, that'd be a great idea for a live stream. Get a few people on, and we just give tips on what we do. I've got a couple of creative secrets that I don't really share, but everything else I would. Captain Spire for $5. Already the left is shifting the narrative to the basic flu, warning how worse it could be than COVID. It's almost like they want to move the goalposts. They are moving the goalposts, and fuck them. Fuck them all. I'm going out now. So if you lock a business, I can't go into it, though. Okay, that's one thing, but I am going to do what I want, go about my life, and try not to hurt anybody, of course, but I'm doing my thing. Cisco Kid for $1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. Paisley Gemini for $9.99. Hail Gary and Panel from Austin, Texas. Canceled my subscription to Netflix, so giving you the money. Also, bought my ticket for Tenet next week. Stay safe, bro. I hope you enjoyed it, and you stay safe as well, Paisley. Appreciate you. And Netflix didn't. Final Death Star for $5. Bill and Ted Face the Music. Thoughts if you've seen it? I did see it. I thought it was fine. I know it got some people's ire up, and honestly, I just don't care enough. The girls being put in there was woke and unnecessary, and one of the girls was an awful actress, and I think she was just signed on because she's doesn't identify as something or non-binary something. I don't really care. She wasn't good. But you know what? It was fine, but I've completely forgotten about it. And I think it would have tanked in the box office. Roof Korean, Modalicious. Joe Biden doesn't sniff black people, he says. Modalicious for $2. He probably would, as long as they were the right age. Roof Korean 92 for $5. G. Edward Griffin wrote The Creature from Jekyll Island, the real true history of the creation of the Federal Reserve. Kyle was self-defense. It clearly looks like Kyle was self-defense. I don't doubt that. Trump is Rodney Dangerfield from Caddyshack, says Modalicious for $2. That, yes. Now I know why tigers eat their young. Butter Biscuit, 92 for $5. Question, if the Orange Man knows all about cancel culture and the expanding list of what we can and can't say on the RNC, why do people continue to ignore it? I don't know what that is. Honestly, I'm not ignoring anything. I'm just not a member of the RNC, and I don't pay attention. But, yeah. I do not know. Listen, everybody is a hypocrite. So if you're trying to get them on that Butter Biscuit, yeah, I don't know. Cancel culture sucks, but I think I think the other side is just frustrated enough, and they're going to start playing the same game the other side is. And that's what happens. That's why you should never make precedents, because the precedent can be used against you. When Clinton was writing a bunch of executive orders, and the right was pissed when Clinton was writing executive orders. And then the left wrote twice as many executive orders. And now executive orders are ridiculous. So that's the kind of thing, it just goes both ways. So G-Man, $5. Gary, can Mrs. Nerdrotic introduce me to Kimberly Guilfoyle? Just 1 hour, no promises, $10,000 cash. G-Man, she hasn't seen Kimberly Guilfoyle in quite some time. But I remember seeing pictures of her for some hair modeling that she still has. Yeah, she was a hair model of hers for a long time. Kimberly Guilfoyle was married to Gavin Newsom. Rongel 39363 for $10. Is it possible that social media saved America despite their best efforts? Without all these websites, we would be getting most of our information from the legacy media, which is corrupt to its core. Yeah, I don't believe the internet has destroyed society. I think it has benefited. As with all things, there is good and bad. I mean, I could make a pretty good argument that free porn has probably kept a lot of bad things from happening, we'll say. There's good purpose for a lot of stuff. And yes, there's a lot of websites that will run with anything, but you got to look at it this way. Sometimes they're going to run with shit that's true. Sometimes the Inquirer is right. A lot more than the mainstream media is these days. So I am thankful for all of those websites. Yes, Berta Prey 5, Kapla for $2. 12 more years of the Friday Night Tights. Wow. Well, it's just getting started. And, the positive feedback we're getting from people want it every night. We got compared, and I know not everybody's going to like this, but I used to like Greg Gutfeld's Red Eye from back in the day. And from the mid-aughts, the Red Eye, I think I don't know if he was always on it or not, but I really enjoyed that show. I used to watch it with my father-in-law when he would come up a lot, right? When Logan was just born, and I would do the late shift of feeding Logan. And I watched a lot of Red Eye and a lot of late night Sports Center, because the late shift was waking up at 1:30 in the morning, feeding him. It usually took an hour to get down. Logan was always a pretty good kid. He was mellow. He's just, God, I'm just thinking back to those times, man. It seems so long ago when he was my little burrito. I called him. I'm my little burrito. I remember our first football game. We watched the Chargers beat the Patriots, which was rare. Beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like a couple of days after he was born, he was like this big. He was sitting on my lap. JBJ80, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Doesn't have anything to say, but thank you very much. Collins Art for $5. I hate it when things are bereft. Me too. When they're bereft of breathness. Or I hate it when your breath stinks. I don't know. The John Beck for $2. Another upcoming insult. Imperialist running dog. Imperialist running dog. Black Tiger 001 for 5 Canadian pesos. A skit from either Mad TV or SNL about some guy that got high or drunk and woke up president. He was blunt and didn't give a fuck. Reminds me of today. Was it? I'll have to look for that skit. Let me get through these 3 and then I'll look for that skit. Miss Martin Muses, thank you for the 99 cent and the rose. I appreciate it. Fire Knight 013 for $5. Dog Whistle just helped me win SJW bingo. Thanks all. Welcome, Razorfist. Razorfist was fucking awesome. I hope he comes back on the show. I'm going to send him a message tomorrow saying people just fucking loved him. Andrew Sabina for £2. God effing speed to the panel and the chat. Hail. All right. Let's go take a look and see if I can find that skit and see if it's real.
Oh, you've done some redecorating, sir.
Nice helicopter.
It's yours, sir.
Okay, look. The last thing I remember was being at the Piper's Pub with my girlfriend. She asked me what I thought about seeing other people, and I told her I'd get back to her after I had 30 beers.
There's really not much more to the story, sir. You got pissed drunk, ran for president, and won.
How long have I been drunk?
You've just started your second term.
Wait. You're saying the people of America elected a drunk man president?
And then re-elected him.
This is impossible. My name is David Herman. I failed high school twice. I butter bagels for a living. How in the hell would anyone elect me president?
Well, I think people found you kind of refreshing, sir. I mean, you are pretty upfront with your views.
I don't have any views.
Maybe not now, sir, but when you get in front of a TV camera with a bottle of Jack Daniels, you can be extremely opinionated. You've changed America.
How?
Well, you ended the war against crime with your brilliant, give us your guns or we'll blow your freaking heads off bill. And you won the war against drugs with your brilliant, give us your drugs or we'll blow your freaking heads off campaign.
I actually said freaking?
No, sir, but I'm a Mormon.
Look, I am the first to admit that America isn't the swiftest country in the world, but this is absolutely...
People were skeptical at first, sir, but when you gave your famous bitch slap to America speech, they really started to listen.
So I just get drunk and people listen.
Yes, basically that's it, sir. Your campaign slogan was, hey, America, last call.
What is that?
So it exists. You know what's weird? I was looking for this, and of course, there's waking up from a coma in Trump's America. Yeah, I'm sure that's funny. But this one was weird. See, these stories trip me out. Teen woke up from coma speaking different language, and this has happened a lot. And what does that say about the brain? So the kid ended up being able to speak fluent Spanish. I remember one where a guy woke up speaking fluent Mandarin. So it's locked in there. There's some people who woke up out of comas and they can write, freaking classical music now and play piano. So it's all in there already, right? And just an injury or something will tap it and tap into your brain, and then all of a sudden you can do it. So So while we still go through the process of learning something, somewhere in our brain, we already know how to do it. That's weird, right? That's very weird. So I'm sorry, I can't think any of this is a happy accident. I really can't. When everything's in our brain already, it's just waiting to get unlocked. And, we're still, what is it? We use 10% of our brain on average. I probably use 2.5%. But yeah, I don't know. That's definitely exozone material right there. Definitely exozone material. So let's get that over there and get back to the super chatting. Okay, are we playing buzzword bingo here? B cis G toxic. Yes, shark dentures. Bingo. Make sure to double check your numbers though. The old ladies get mad. I used to play bingo. I used to go out to Sequan Casino in the 90s. It's a casino down here in San Diego, and go play bingo with my friend Kurt. We'd go golfing and then play bingo. It was the 90s, man. JBJ80, $5. Well, I come from a third world country. In my opinion, America has two different worlds. If you live here and you come from a third world country, America's got many different worlds. America's is a big country with 50 separate states that all have their own personality. So it's not, listen, there's wealthy everywhere. They're going to be part of the system. They're a necessary part of the system. Are they obnoxious? Do they think they need, especially the uber wealthy? We're not even talking about the adult pretenders in Hollywood. We're talking about the people we don't even know, or the George Soroses out there and stuff. Listen, it's part of life. I've been poor. I'm not from a third world country, never have been, but I've been dirt poor in a rich country. And why that's probably better or is better than, some third world countries, but I don't want to disrespect countries either. I haven't been everywhere, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know I've been to some countries that were not so great. I've been around, and, I am grateful for our country, and what it's going through right now is a growing pain, but it will calm down, but it was necessary. This shit's been coming to a head for a long, long time. A lot of it was engineered though. And I think we, the people, need to bitch slap our media, either back into shape or get rid of them. We need to replace them with something, though, and I think it's us. You do need a media. You do need checks and balances in government, but when the media is controlled by the corporations, then the corporations start controlling the government, and that's not good because we don't elect those CEOs. I don't mind there being corporations. They just aren't very happy just being corporations. That's when I have a problem with it. Termination 2011s. Is that what that says? Termination 2011s for $2. We are 2 years from Soylent Green if Dems win. It'd be pretty bad if Biden wins. That he is clearly not capable of being president. I'm sorry. Some people might disagree. But he's not all there right now. He's too old. I sure wish, God, we need a great uniter someday. You know what? Sometimes certain presidents are necessary, right? And they're not always going to be your friend. They just need to get shit done as long as they've got as many people as they can in mind. You can't save everyone. You're not going to satisfy everyone. And I think that's why the Orange Man succeeds, because he's done business for so long that you understand that you are just flat out not going to make everybody happy. And if you try to make everybody happy, you are going to be miserable. I could equate it right back to YouTube. If you just read every comment and take every single one of them to heart, the good and the bad, it will make you insane. It will make you insane. You just read them and people have their say, And what I try to keep in mind with every single comment I read is, especially the negative ones, is maybe this guy or gal is pissed off for something else. Maybe they have a legitimate point. They don't know really who I am, so I don't take it that personal. It's just words, right? I do try to read as many as I can. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I read every one. I mean, some of my videos, like, God, there's 8,000 comments on one of them. It's like, I think I've read maybe 1,000 of them, but that takes like a long time. It does. I try. I really do try. And I don't see all of them either. That's the problem, is YouTube deletes comments, and I sometimes try to go through and put the ones back that they've deleted, because they delete some stupid shit, but it's not me. It ain't me. My TARDIS rules for 10 Australian dollars. Sounds like you have turned over a stone and found evil. Evil. I like to say evil. Evil. But yeah, it's I love it when the comments are fiery though. That's it, because that means you've ignited some passion, right? No matter what side it is on. And it's funny. I mean, like, I read the comments for the Batman review. Those were funny. I got a good chuckle out of them. People were pretty pissed at me. NK33 for $5. I've realized that religion exists because some need God as an excuse to be moral. Others need the devil to rail against and blame for their failings. NK33. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, that's a broad generalization. So I think religion exists because we are kind of wired for the spirit. We're wired. We have a spiritual center. All right. And people need a way to tune that. Okay. So they tune it to their God. They tune it to the universe, whatever it is. And right now, with some, the new religion is leftism, like extreme leftism. To some, with SJWs, it's a religion. But I try to, what I would try to do, NK33, in that situation, is, if you're not a religious person, that's cool. That's cool. The way I look at it is, I am not a religious person, but I don't have a problem with somebody else being religious. There's no reason for me to mess with anybody's religion just because I'm not religious, as long as it's not encroaching on my life, as long as we don't live in some country where I'm forced to pray to some god or whatever. I don't care. I don't care. We have Father Christopher Miller here. We have pastors here. We have rabbis here. I respect, we have people of the Muslim faith here, and I respect all of their religions. Nobody has ever tried to put their religion on me since I've started this. Nobody's ever tried to, my mom tries to get me, like, constantly. Okay. And the answer is no, because I have a different belief system. I'm definitely a spiritual person. I believe in a great creator, architect, or whatever, but it's different. Okay. It's just my belief. But I would never, ever disrespect somebody else's religion, because if it makes them happy, if it brings them peace, great. Great. We all need that. And some religions do a lot of good. Then there's cults and stuff that do horrific things. And then there's people who use religion and God for an excuse to be immoral, because they go to church and ask for forgiveness, and then the rest of the week they go out and act like dicks. And if that's what you're talking about, yeah, I'm with you on there. But yeah, that's always been my view on religion. I never understood, if you're an atheist, right, and you don't believe something, okay, then go off and don't believe it. And when atheists try to, like, go after and gaslight religious people, you are spreading your religion. You are doing the very same thing you accuse them of. That's the one thing. And I'm thinking of one person in particular who's on YouTube who's like a atheist who loves to gaslight religious people. Why? Are you fundamental in your non-belief of something? It's like, I really don't like pizza. I want to scream to everybody, I don't like pizza. I don't eat pizza. D. Tudorok for $5. My family comes from Romania and lived under communism for decades. It's incredibly sad that a large portion of the U.S. doesn't know how evil it truly is. Yes, a large portion of the U.S. who actually believes that communism can work are ignorant, and are young. There are some in Hollywood, because they tried to spread this back then, who will say that everything about Russia, communist Russia, was a made-up boogeyman. They weren't as bad as we said they were. And you know what? The people weren't. The people were under a system, but the system was bad, and it crumbled. And it crumbled because they didn't do things like, I don't know, safety measures at Chernobyl, and it sucked. But they weren't all evil either. There was a great Sting song, I hope the Russians love their children too. That's when the Cold War was bad. Basil, the Pump and Seagull for 2 Canadian pesos. Marxism is all about resentment. That's it. Yep. Within a communist system, I don't think they would allow something like AA to exist, because technically it's religious based, and you can't have anything higher than the state. Magnus, 50 Danish krona. Grand strategy games used to be based, but Paradox kind of killed it. So Paradox were they a company or a Paradox? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Grand Strategy Games, is that like a company? I'm sure somebody will answer, though, because the chat always knows. Sonic Spaz for $5. Hollywood villains will also include the stereotypical Japanese next to Russians, even when they are one of our biggest allies. Sonic Spaz, Hollywood villains will also include the stereotypical Japanese next to the Russians, even when they're one of our biggest allies. As far as like, Yakuza gangs and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree. I mean, they use the Yakuza a lot because it's safe. And they're also, they're kind of a sexy villain. Kind of like, back in the 70s when there was a lot of admiration for the Italian mafia. So, yeah, it's stereotypical. But I also think that, they're scary. They're a scary villain. I still love you so much, says Ballistic Brian for $2 Australian. We love you too. Jay Frazier's 360 for £5. Just found out Star Trek Discovery Season 3 will apparently have an episode titled Unification 3. What the fuck? Guess we better get ready ourselves for Mighty She-Spock. Oh, I did not know that. Jesus Christ. Well, it depends. Did that come from the 4chan rumors? Scottish Nerd for £1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. Hammerhand for $20. What does the mighty Razorfist think of Richard Spencer declaring for Biden? He put up on his Twitter, and I put under that is the funniest thing since Epstein didn't kill himself. Centurion 84 for $5 Australian. Hopefully the release of the Snyder Cut can set the precedent of releasing the release of things such as the Lucas Cut of Episode 9. The Last Jedi still screwed sequel trilogy. Yeah. I'm curious to see what a Lucas Cut would be, because Lucas was not sitting in an editing bay cutting an entire film. He doesn't even live in LA or California right now. I believe he's spending time in Chicago, I've heard. So yeah, I just don't think that's possible. I just don't think it's possible. Now, if he made a couple of suggestions to somebody and they're calling it the Lucas Cut, maybe. But no, I don't think so. Flashy Vic for £5. Just as we Brits indulge in a bit of giggling at the woke idiocy of the U.S. left, along comes the Guardian to say, hold my fair trade Earl Grey tea. There you go. Yeah. The idiocy of our left is pretty fucking funny. Bowie 8085 for $1.99. Ryan, what comes After Dark Empire 2. Dark Empire 2, buoy. Sushi Joe for $5. D&D abolished racism. They did. Thank God for D&D. Mark C for $20. I can't wait until the Marxist revolution hits my state of Louisiana. We don't promote concealed carry. We promote open carry. We actually had peaceful protests. It's amazing how polite they become when people are armed. That's right. J-Lo Flicks for $5. I can't wait for the glorious rip in the space-time continuum when you'd both Razorfist and stick Sexenhammer on Friday Night Tights at the same time. Boom, baby. That would be awesome. I'd have them both on for sure. Both great YouTubers. Bob Gable for $5. I'm still Adam West Batman. Never read the comic. Saw Michael Keaton and Jack in the theater. Thought it was great. Then it went downhill from there. Adam West was my first Batman. I read the comics a lot. We'll see if Patton's in it. We'll see what he does. Bearded Warrior for £5. Saw Tenet today. No spoilers, but I wasn't impressed. One good thing, weirdly, was Pattinson's performance. I could see him specifically as Bruce Wayne now. We'll see. The Hiking Viking for $5. Compare Pattinson's eyeliner shot to L from Death Note. You won't be able to unsee it. I will check it out. Ben Frail for $5 Australian. R.I.P. Joe Ruby, Scooby-Doo, and Jabberjaws, etc. That's right. Rest in peace, Scooby-Doo. Dag the Gnome for 5 Canadian pesos. The underpants on the outside comes from the 1930s and 40s when the circus strongman was the essence of masculinity. Yes, it also helped break up the monotony so they didn't look naked. Boag for 20 Mexican dollars. The DCAU movies has Batman looking like Batman. Yes, it does. It does. But, I mean, listen, people always go to the animated, and animated is animated. It's cool. You're free to do much more in the animated series, but we want live action. We're talking live action. I mean, listen, the DCAU is great. It still can't touch the animated series. Cloth Batman outfit should be his rubber Under Armour. Make him shed the armor during the battle, says Nerdy Biz Guy for $4.99. I think there's a happy medium with his costume. He's just getting more armored up. And yeah, sure, it makes sense, but then he's Iron Man. J-Lo Flicks for $2. Razorfist equals Dennis Miller of pop culture politics. Indeed. And that is a compliment. Mark C for $5. I can fix DC Comics and the Metal Men are not obscure. And the Metal Men are not obscure characters. Yes, they are, Mark. The Metal Men are obscure characters. They aren't to you, but your average normie is not going to know who the Metal Men are. Lou DeMarzo for $4.99. I am now an insecure little girl when watching good trailers to movies I'm excited to see. Thanks, Rian Johnson. I refuse to get hurt like that again. Can't blame you. Twilight Aura says Sushi Joe for $5. Talking about Pattinson probably. CM Shazam for $19.99. Hail Jeremy, Jeremy Ryan, Jeremy Garrett, Jeremy Odin, Jeremy Lady Gravemaster, Jeremy Razorfist, Quarter Black, and BLM being fact-checked via Politico on YouTube as not a terrorist. Proof Thanos is woke? Yes. Yes, CM Shazam. Oh, and hail to me, too. Hail, Jeremy. Oh, I'm Jeremy. I'm also the other Jeremy. I gotcha. Silver Man for £2. R. Pat looking like edgy Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. Ooh. Ugh. Cuts deep. Mr. Solomon for $5. Have you discussed Jim Starlin putting his Trump-like villain's head on a pike in his upcoming Dreadstar Kickstarter, disclosing after he raised $130,000? Oh, he did that? That's fucked up. Well, you can call for a refund. I would. I like Jim Starlin's work. I hate it when they do shit like that, though. I was not aware. Crusader Sarakan for $5. Nerdrotic, you need to set up a Streamlabs so I don't have to give money to YouTube and Google. That we are doing. We are doing that this Friday. So yes, we are going to do it. I know there's a lot of you out there who hate doing that, and I appreciate that. So it will be done. Overkill 161 for 99 cents. Thank you for the poop. Charles Branch for $5. Have you heard that Nancy Pelosi will become president if they delay the vote count and the electoral cannot pick a winner by January 20th? I've heard that, but we had a delayed presidency for longer than that, and the speaker didn't become president. So I'm not so sure. I'm pretty sure the Bush-Gore election went longer than 20 days. I could be wrong about that, though. How far did it go? I can't remember. Maybe it didn't go that far. Maybe it only went a month. It was a long time ago. C. Bra for $20. Trump is the anti-war candidate. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That is undeniable. He's done some things, like he's lobbed some bombs. I wasn't too happy about that, but for the most part, he's been anti-war. Craig Loxley, thank you for the $5 Australian. Pair working out saying keep it up, which is a super sticker. Thank you very much, Greg. Red Wolf Corp revamp for $5. Bluer than Movie Bob's Bullocks. How about slimier than Katakura's chest hairs, or more washed up than Pro Jared in a sailor outfit? Ooh. Wizard Bees for $5. I can't help but think Cenk saying it should be legal to pleasure horses may have been a problem. Cenk from Young Turks, he wants to legalize pleasuring horses. Is it bad that I'm not surprised about that? Diego Flores for $16.90 pens. I don't know what a pen is. Have you guys thought about doing a comic that satirizes your misadventures versus woke entertainment and always ends with the tagline, go woke, go broke? Are we in misadventures? Some of them might feel like that, to be honest with you. That would be funny. It would, if somebody could do it, I'd be behind it. I wouldn't have time. Now, Mrs. Nerdrotic, my chief capitalism officer. Oh, that reminds me. I was listening to a quartering video, and he was talking about Best Buy going woke, and they mentioned they had a new position of a chief or head of the Department of Inclusivity and Diversity, which is just some made-up bullshit. So I made up some bullshit for Lady Gravemaster and Mrs. Nerdrotic. So I have an announcement. I put it on Twitter. Announcement. Nerdrotic has created 2 new positions. Lady Gravemaster is now producer and chief egalitarian officer of meritocracy. And Mrs. Nerdrotic, Agent Bossy Boots, is CCO, chief capitalism officer, and heads the Department of Interreactional Peopleism. That announcement now ends. Back to the comic. So I was talking to my chief capitalism officer just before I did this, Mrs. Nerdrotic, the lovely Mrs. Nerdrotic, who's doing just great. And we discussed maybe doing a comic. Now, we've done a comic in the past. I've done a few comics in the past. You will never see them. But I think there's some good ideas that we could bring back to life. Now, I wouldn't have time to do much more than plot it, like write it, maybe throw in some dialogue, but get a writer, get a real writer and a real artist, a top of the line, both, and do a comic book, because I think it would be fun to rework my comic book idea. But it's something I have to pitch to you guys first. So I'm going to pitch the plot. It's a story. We've all, I don't know, creative people have all had like one story rolling around in their head for the longest time. This story has been in my head since I was 16. So we'll discuss it. It's called Dark Legion officially, because nobody liked my original name for it. And then I'm going to go back to my original name for it, because I like my original name for it, because it's very 50s sci-fi. So Dark Legion is the term that is copyrighted, and it is the name of a program within my comic book. But I wanted to call it the Super Unknown. And yes, after oh my God, why am I blanking on their name? Soundgarden, my God. just getting old sucks. So I love the album Super Unknown. Fucking love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I love the song Super Unknown. And I like that title. I think it's a really good title, and it really fits with my weirdo adventure that I have in my head, which is a cross of old school horror, dark fantasy, and superheroes with a little noir mixed in. Awesome Jessen for £5. Thoughts on the VA for Duke Nukem calling for Kyle Rittenhouse to be butt screwed in prison? Godspeed, gentlemen. Who's Kyle Rittenhouse? The voice actor for, okay. Kyle Rittenhouse is the guy who I'm sorry, I blanked there. So Kyle Rittenhouse is the guy who was defending himself, and who gives a fuck what a fucking voice actor thinks on shit. Your life, dude, is pretending with your voice. You pretend with your fucking voice. So you know dick, Duke. You know dick, Duke. So continue voicing your little video games. It's a good gig. Be grateful you're in a country that allows you to act like a complete fucking idiot in public and allows you to pretend with your voice. And thank God every day you live in that country. David Kenny for $2. Hi, Rags. Hi. Kevin Mayes for $5 for Razor. Is there anything that Batman stole from the Shadow, and did it better in your opinion? Thanks. I will pass that on to him. Razor loves the Shadow. See, okay. The thing I identify with Razor is the Shadow isn't obscure. The Shadow used to be a giant, a huge popular character back in the day. And it's one of the characters I go to, for an example, like Star Wars and Star Trek will not always be the biggest thing. Okay. People used to fucking love Flash Gordon. People used to love Zorro. People used to love the Shadow. And they were, so I don't mean to belittle that, but Batman has lasted longer, has been more prominent, lasted longer, but the Shadow's a cool fucking character. It's a cool character. And the radio show is damn cool. I used to listen to it. I used to have my cassette tapes for The Shadow Knows. Stealth Creations for $2. It's a leaf every effing time, Razor. Every time. Carmen Steele for $2. StarWarsRingTheory.com shows George's brilliance. I will show that. I was talking to my son today. Actually, I was listening to Robert Meyer Burnett was bringing it on the live stream. I hope he saved some for us this Friday about, George is the most unwilling and almost ungrateful billionaire who ever lived. And that's something we could talk about. I don't think George is a saint. I don't. I think George was really good with Gary Kurtz and needs a Gary Kurtz. And if he doesn't have a Gary Kurtz, then he's George Lucas. And then that's the biggest difference between Empire and Jedi, and the original trilogy and the prequels. EU prequels, books, and games had a lot of good lore, in my opinion. Thunderbird 935, the books, Clone Wars, the comics were light years better than the prequels. And they gave them a lot more density, and it's that much more tragic that Disney got rid of what fleshed out the prequels. But that shows you how dumb they were. Dumb and impatient. And yeah, just because Bob Iger makes more money in a month than I'll make in my lifetime doesn't mean he knows shit about Star Wars. And there's a lot of people who know a lot more than me about Star Wars, but I know more than Bob Iger. The Physicality Channel for $2. Stop your prequel apologism, you rebel scum. And he uses an umlaut there. There is no prequel apologism for me. They aren't good. Revenge of the Sith is a decent movie, but the jump from Anakin being buddy with Obi-Wan to Anakin killing younglings is rather quick. Centurion 84 for $10. People forget now how important the prequels were for universe building, e.g. Coruscant. Plus, we saw a shift in games, e.g. KOTOR, with two balanced sides. Prequels needed an extra layer of refinement. They did, and that's what they were missing. They needed another pass. I think that's a great way to put it. They needed another pass. It was layer thin when it comes to acting and characterization. The story was there. All the components were there. George needed Gary Kurtz. If Gary Kurtz was with George during the prequels, they would be revered. Absolutely revered. Lord of the Rings is the greatest trilogy ever made. Period. Why? Return of the King. They finished. It was fucking epic because it's to me, it's the greatest story ever told. I'm listening to the audiobooks again. Frodo and Pippin and Sam just got done with, they are at Mary Addox. They're at, oh God, they just made it over the Brandywine River, and they saw one of the Black Riders come. Now, in the movie, they had them chased, but they actually just got over the river, and then they saw one of the riders, and they made it to Brandy Hall, which is like this huge hall, hobbit hole, basically. And they went to Frodo's new house. Frodo put on this whole dog and pony show because the Shire is in everybody's business. So he had to make it look like he ran out of Bilbo's money and he had to buy another house so he could go move. So he moved over to where Merry and Pippin live, and they because I'm blanking on the name right now, and they had to put on this whole show to make it look like Frodo was just running out of money and he had to move, and so he could sneak out of the Shire without being noticed that he was gone, so it wouldn't endanger any of the hobbits because the Black Riders were looking for him in the ring, and the less the fellow hobbits knew, the better. Poor fatty Bulger, and he got a little freaked out from the Black Riders. I'm just at that part right now. Crick Hollow, but God, what was that part of the Shire? Dude, it's late, so I'm not going to remember right now. But yeah, that's what I was listening to last night. I was kind of fading in and out, right? Honestly, Robert Inglis, I think that's the name of the reader of the book. He read the book in 1990. So you can like hear him. He's like breathing heavy, and it sounds like he's just in his office, and you can hear like his wife in the background when he's reading the book. And I'm assuming it's 1990 because they say copyright 1990. They need to get somebody new to read the book. Who would you have read Lord of the Rings? I would get Andy Serkis to do the audiobook. They need to do a new audiobook. There needs to be a push for that. And I would love for them to do another audio adventure, although the BBC one is fucking great with Ian Holm. That's my all-time favorite audio anything. Mark C for $5. Wait a minute. Bat Chang for $2.99. You guys got Razorfist? Razorfist? Yes, we got Razorfist. And we're happy as hell to have gotten them. We got Robert Meyer Burnett tonight, and next week it looks like we got a big guest, but I've got to iron it out. Mark C for $5. My biggest issue with the Star Wars prequels was pacing. The first two felt light on overall plot, and Revenge of the Sith was just busting at the seams and needed to breathe. Agreed. Samu Rai for $2. Doomcock needs to join Friday Night Tights. Doomcock has his own Friday night show. But he always can join, but he'd have to give up his show one night. People have been asking for a crossover forever, and maybe we can make it happen. Maybe. Jaegerbomb for $5. Please forgive my spelling errors. You don't have to. You've never read one of my messages, Jaegerbomb. Don't feel bad. Think one day the Bat family will ever get their chance to shine on the big small screen. Games at least. Well, it looks like Gotham Knights is kind of going to do that. And that game looked pretty badass, but I'd like to see the Bat family with Batman. Edison Gomes for $5. Or Edson Gomes. Thank you for bringing awareness to the P to the E to the D to the O issue. Experts estimate that this horror deals in more money than the NFL. Yes, it does. And California just passed a law easing one of the restrictions, and I'm not fucking happy about it. Kids cannot consent. And you know what? You just can't get in these conversations here. Maybe we're going to have an offline conversation on D Live or something one of these days. Just another thank you for tonight's fisting. Man of War 665. You are welcome. Thank you for the $10. Nightwish fan 1991 for $5. Still pissed that the New Republic got blown up in 30 seconds. Yep. Gone. Yep. John Wayne 499. Hail Gary and Razorfist. Are either of you power metal fans? And if so, have you listened to any Sabaton? Razorfist was not a fan, and I like some power metal, but I like old shit. I'm not even aware of any new power metal bands. I like Ghost. I love Ghost a lot, but I am an Iron Maiden freaking Slayer dude. I like Slayer. I like Iron Maiden. But my absolute favorite metal band, is Megadeth. That's right. Dave Mustaine. He told me to fuck off. He did. The only time we had an interaction, he told me to fuck off, and I still like him. Pablo Papano, thank you for the $5. Pablo Papano for $5. Kyle Rittenhouse is a Jedi. Yeah. It's pretty amazing that he's alive. I watched that video. It looks like it's self-defense to me. And you know what? Don't fucking attack a guy with a rifle. You're going to get killed. You're going to get shot right in the effing head. All for smacking a... Oh, man. Think about that guy's parents, man. Well, watch your kids. Make sure they don't become Antifa. Because if they do, they could die. And Antifa has... Everybody's at the limit with fucking Antifa right now. Everybody's had a fucking enough of Antifa right now. And you're going to see them start to get arrested, hunted down, and they best get arrested. That will be the best course of action. Turn yourself in. Otherwise, it's Bonnie and Clyde. William Morrow for $5. Finally, Razorfist has arrived. Let Heimdall blow his horn. Heimdall is going to blow his horn for Ragnarok. Well, I don't think it's time for Ragnarok yet, but I think we could let Heimdall blow his horn. I think maybe, just maybe, he's been blowing his horn. That's a little Exozone for you. There you go. Gyorhorn Boag for 20 Mexican dollars. Jeff Loeb killed Earth's mightiest heroes. He kind of did. He's also done some good work, with Tim Sale mostly. Done some horrible work in television, though. Apocalypse again, or Aegon, for $5. Hey, guys, my dad sat me down recently, told me I was to inherit his comic collection. I felt so lucky. I love his collection of Top Cow comics. Brilliant. That means your dad loves you. Treat him right. Terrence Von Higginbottom for $4.99 says, the word is no. Just say no. And you are right. And thanks for joining us when As doesn't. Craig Life for $5. Hail chat and the mighty Razorfist. Thanks for turning me into a huge Wasp and Dawkins fan and your excellent fiery political commentary. Hail metal. And I will pass that on. I like Wasp quite a bit. Not a Dawkins fan myself. Claudia C for $4.99. Did you all see that one of the BLM co-founders has asked Hollywood to strike in support of Jacob Blake? Go for it. I am down for less Hollywood. I am as well. The Grizzly, welcome to the proto-molecule level. Raymond Franco for $20. Need a good sci-fi hit? Check out Space Commando, crowdfunded passion project by Mr. Sci-Fi himself, Mark Zicree, writer of many beloved sci-fi shows. And I have interviewed Mark Zicree. You can check it out on Nerdrotic Live. He is a cool dude. The Grizzly for $5. And yes, Space Command is cool. Nothing sums up this election more than the conventions. Man, it couldn't be more black and white. Oh, wait. Oh, God damn it. Hang on. That was a long time for that one, but I have some new sounds like this. Hang on. I'm going to insert more, but I've got for any time we see some try hard Star Trek episode or Doctor Who episode that displays the stunning and braveness of the strong, powerful female lead, I'm going to hit this one.
You know, times are changing. Ladies can do stuff now.
That's right. And when I don't understand someone or I don't understand one of the super chats, I just go,
What? Were you saying something? Look, I don't speak Spanish.
yeah, I've got my whole soundboard I can fill up here. I can fill it up with so many sounds. I've got so many. I just have to get the sound bites. Where was I? Speaking of Brie Larson, Uncultured Barbarian for $5. I still say if they ever make an Ed, and Eddie live action film, my kid loved that. Brie Larson is perfect for the part of Plank. I totally agree. CJ for $4.99. Admit it, Quarter Black is only on this panel so you can hit the diversity points. Yes. Also, Trump derangement syndrome is getting crazy. It always has been. Remington 30666 for 10 Canadian pesos. And by the way, we have Quarter Black Garrett on for obviously his 3/4 whiteness. Duh. Hey, Razorfist, and anyone who listens to metal. Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders does all the air guitar licks for the new Bill. They had somebody else do the air guitar licks. They taught him on Bill and Ted. They're amazing if you know them. We'll have to check them out. Aeronaut for $5. I want Fall Guys on Friday Night Tights. Who are the Fall Guys? Somebody please tell me. I should probably know. I'll probably know if I see him. Billy Badass for $5. Can I get your thoughts behind Mike giving one of his victims an engagement ring when they were a kid? This is from Leaving Neverland. It's probably a lie, but I don't know. That's weird if it did happen, but I don't know. Razorfist gives a very compelling argument that Michael Jackson is not a P to the E to the D to the O. He is a very broken, crazy, deranged, eccentric man. Now, I still wouldn't let my kid near him, but apparently parents were allowed in the room and everything was all in the open. And Mike was just trying to relive a childhood that was robbed from him. He was abused horribly. Does it make any of that stuff okay? No, me personally, no. But if the man isn't guilty, he isn't guilty, and he took it to his grave. The man is dead. That's all I know. And I don't want to get into the debate. I am very, very, very anti-P to the E to the D to the O. But we have a little thing called due process that even counts for them. We don't want to send somebody away, especially with that kind of a tag, without knowing for sure, unfortunately, because there would be nothing crueler in this world than putting that tag on somebody who didn't do it, because they would die. They would die. I got a story. One guy one time in prison, this guy got it in his head that one of the guys there was a P to the E to the D to the O. He went in and beat the living piss out of that guy, and it turns out the guy was just a tax evader. The guy got beaten good. And it was just some poor sod who, needed money, ended up with some bad people, and it was a very sad situation. The only justice is the guy who beat him up got his ass kicked later for something else. But that wasn't fun to see. The guy it's called a jacket. You get a jacket put on you. And if you didn't do it, it's pretty fucked up. It can be dangerous. And I've seen the consequences of giving somebody that jacket who didn't have it. And it was a 65-year-old, and it looked like your dad, getting the shit beat out of him by 3 inmates. Young, strong men beating. He is lucky he survived. And he's also lucky that somebody went through his papers in his cell and found out what he got busted for. Because, you have your papers in your cell. So, yeah, that's a sad story. Sorry. Hey, have you all heard about the new Starship Troopers TV series? And are SJWs going to ruin the series too? Yes. Justin Baumgartner for $5. The answer is yes until I see differently. Mikey Gussler, Razor is not here, but I can answer this question. $2. Razor, thoughts on GNR's Chinese Democracy? I actually think it's a very good album. It's a very, very good album. Axl tweaked on that for 10 years. It cost him the band. Then they got back together, which is good. But we lost a lot of years of what could have been one of the best rock and roll bands ever. Yes, I'm a huge GNR fan. I saw them back in the day. In 1987, they opened up for Aerosmith in the Hollywood Bowl. At the end of the show, they played Mama Kin together live. It was great. Kyle Rittenhouse defended himself, says Pal Gaming Travels for $4.99. I agree. Soul Hunter for $5. Thanks, Razor, for the Metal Mythos. Wasp is my favorite band. Thanks to you. Rock on. Looking forward to the book. Yes, Wasp is a good band. Blackie Lawless. $5. I'm so sorry. I love all you guys. Seriously, I just found everyone through Az. But Gary, what kingdom is a kingdom without its jester? Captain Palsy. For $2. Hail, Razorfist. Shame on. It's XJPN 7 times. Yeah, that's from the super chat who went, I miss Az. We had Razorfist on, and it's just a super chat that says, I miss Az. Az has chosen to go bi-monthly for his rest. And we all need rest. I'm up at 1:09 a.m. And this is my pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure. But we need our rest. And Az needs it. But he'll be back this Friday. So there you go. Welcome to the proto-molecule level Floyd save. Crusader Sarkin for $5. Star Wars is woke. Star Trek is woke. Support new creators and don't give money to people who despise you. Or by all I will beat you with my shoe. Or by Allah, I will beat you with my shoe. Okay, I got you. Well, you can't spell Allah in the super chat? That's dumb. It's okay. You could say Allah here. It's fine. Where is Doomcock? This is epic. Floyd saved for $2. Doomcock does his own show on Friday. Star Trekker 58 for $5 Australian dollars. Hail, Gary and Friday Nighters. Awesome evening coming up. Empire Strikes Back and Die Hard 1 Saturday here in Australia. Going to Tenet next week as well. That is brilliant. Star Trekker 58. Enjoy them all. Hope you like Tenet. Uncultured Barbarian for $5. Sports ball never looks good in movies. Bite your tongue. The original Longest Yard is one of the best movies I've watched with my dad. That is different. Pro sports ball looks horrifically cheesy in movies. Always. It always does. Now, a good old 70s, The Longest Yard is a prison film that's different. That's much different. But I'm talking about pro sports. When they try to emulate pro sports or imitate pro sports in the movies is cheesy as hell. Stealth Creations for $5. What is best in life? No. What is the best worst film in superhero cinema, 1970s to now, that you feel it being redone in Minecraft would massively improve its quality? Redone in Minecraft. Best worst superhero film. Corman's Fantastic Four. Floyd saved $2. You all are my new celebrities. # screw Hollywood. Hail. Thank you very much. And listen, this only works because of you guys. So, we're all in this together. Joy Bryant, Cinematic Lens Flare. Yeah. Gossip Mime for $5. Do not hope that Texas refrains from becoming blue. Know that it never shall. Nice. William Alston for $5. Speaking of Texas, how does El Paso fare? I'm moving there soon. Your boy Zach lives there and he likes it. Southie 98 for $9.99. Will we see Hollywood crash this decade? That's a possibility, and I'm working on maybe a video on that. Wandering Paladin for $5. Hey, FNT crew. It says FNL, but Friday Night Tights. Just got to work and watching the end of the show. Hail, what's up? David NS84 for $5. Quarter Black, what's with Crowder not voting for Trump if he doesn't do more on riots? Razor, you think Crowder's wrong on sending in feds? Thoughts? Well, they're not here, but the Trump did send in the feds to Kenosha. So I think that point is moot. And I think you need to let the cities handle it. And if the cities are going to let themselves burn down, that sucks. But that's why I got out of San Francisco. My mayor would have let the city burn down. And if the feds went there, sure, they could stop it. And then when they left, the city would burn down again. And you would claim that the feds were a bunch of jackbooted thugs and dictator Trump sent them. See, that's how things get complicated when we vote in fucking lunatics. 200-watt studio for $2. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, has died. Yes, we learned that Chadwick Boseman died right at the end of the show. Oh, sad. It was sad. Now, listen, I'm not going to, I didn't know the guy. He's an actor. I think I just identify more because he died what my dad died of. But it's sad. It's sad. And back with that, yeah, Crowder's voting for Trump, David. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think Crowder's voting for Biden. All right, we got some Nerdrotic Nooner super chats to do. Hang on. All right, we got some Nerdrotic Nooner mop up as well. The Maxer 03 for $4.99. Gary, another reason to consider Utah. We have tons of nerds here. Our Comic-Con always has well over 100,000 people in attendance. Your shop will thrive. That is actually very good to hear. I am enticed. We have Surprise Mechanics for $5. It is sad how easy it would be to save the Star Trek tune. It would. Well, it wouldn't be that easy because you have to, the animation has to be better. That's it. The animation has to be better. And it's not funny. Oscar Mayer for $2. Hail, long live the fighters. Hail to you, sir. Modalicious, thank you for the $2. In 1992, Will Riker pulled a Space Thailand. Yes, he did. Dark Metamorphosis for $2. Mary Weissman was pregnant while filming season 3. She was. I read those. Wanderin Paladin, welcome to the Jaloja level. NG1T for $5. Keep it up. Super sticker, thank you for that. JD for $2. Hey there. Pear super sticker, thank you for that. NG1T for $4. A pear with a cup of coffee super sticker, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Busta Grimes for $5. I always say the left should be referred to as the wrong. When things go wrong, they didn't say things went right. It goes things went left. R. Fletch for $5. I read that one too, but I'll read it again. It's fine. Doctor Who, again, the sound of the TARDIS appearing depresses me. It does. Michael Lamb for Australian $5. The whole Doctor Who thing depresses me. Hi, Gary. I'm a progressive. I don't agree with everything you say, but your views on Star Trek are on point. If Trek is not for me now, then who? Exactly. Mark C for $5. Just heard today Rogan has left already. He's moved to Austin, Texas. Indeed, he has. Kent Barnes for $20. Here a wee bit just because I immediately thought of your wife when I saw the Pelosi video. When you settle, I'm gonna got some original Lord of the Rings figures still in boxes. If you need some, thoughts and prayers for you and your family both, which I've read all of these, but I don't mind reading them again. But we're gonna jump to the bottom here. They're talking about the Keanu Reeves Kickstarter. I wasn't sure how he was doing it through comic shops. So it looks like he's not going to bypass the comic shops, but they will start bypassing the comic shops. That's going to happen. That's only a matter of time. And comic shops just need to compete. They need to compete. They got to find a way. Jonathan D. Pena Baez for $5. But Gary, the campaign is for trade paperbacks, and they will sell floppies through the shops. So I understand. Yeah, and that's good. That's good. Rick Maldo, thank you for the $1 super chat. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Jaloja level, Jason Jones. And the John Beck for $2. Is coffee shortage over? Is the coffee shortage? Sorry, I'm going to start this again because this is applicable. The John Beck for $2. Is coffee shortage over in Pete's and Starbucks? No, it's only Starbucks. I've been going to Pete's just fine. I have to drive a few miles, but Pete's has had their coffee. Starbucks has been out of coffee until yesterday, as far as I know. So there we go. That's the end of the Super Chat Square Up. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed Razorfist on Friday Night Tights and the last two Nerdrotic Nooners, which were live, which I mean, more than just live, they were freaking on fire. You guys were brilliant in both of those. Well, those were two all-timers. We had a huge crowds for both. So we got Robert Meyer Burnett, and we're going to talk a lot of nerd stuff this Friday. We were very heavy political on Friday. We're going to be very heavy nerd this Friday. As returns, see you in a little bit. Please like, share, and subscribe, and be good to each other.
My name is Daniel Kibblesmith.
Fucking fuck that shit.
That's the hat, and then it'll fly up in just a second. See?
Fucking fuck that shit.
Oh no!
Fucking dick. What a dick.
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm Razorfist. God, fucking speed.